Hello YouTube and welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're back with a top 10 because that's literally the only videos we do that aren't gaming videos. Yeah, so today we've got another...
Currently.
Yeah, currently. So today we've got another Twitch suggested top 10 from Mr. Foss himself. We're going back to a Pokemon top 10. We've not done one of these since Gen 9 came out. The last one we did.
Wow.
And today we are doing mythical / legendary Pokemon. Now,
Indeed.
it's quite a long list. Not as long as the Gen 9 one, obviously, but there's like 90 odd options, I believe.
Yeah, so it was something like 97, I think, when I actually sat down to count them all, which is kind of crazy.
It's kind of crazy. That's like literally
like almost
crazy.
10% of all the Pokemon
are legendaries. Wild. But yeah, so we asked 16 different people today, and we got 64 different Pokemon. Before we, as we always do, let's see who we got a list from. So we got a list from me, Jack H. H was like literally about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
we were
literally sat here waiting.
We were. So we got a list from me, Jack H. We've got Xenals, Lanky, Molly, Chris, Winter, Hooper, Foss, Holly, Dread, Sprangle, Lily, and Lil, and Mr. Alcaraz. As always, the Mons just missing out on the top 15. Today, we have 4 of them, and one of these Mons, someone in this call had in their top 3.
Ooh, okay.
One of these,
probably me.
One of these people in this call had this Mon in the top 2.
Probably me.
Someone in this list had this Mon in first place.
Is it me?
It's not H.
What?
It's not me.
Yeah, it's me.
It's Jack. So Reshiram
Okay.
got joint 18th place with 17 points.
Okay, yeah, well, 10 of those came from me, so 7 from other people.
Yeah.
That's fine. I knew Reshiram wasn't going to be, like, anywhere near the top 10, but I can't even explain why I like it so much. It's just something about just, like, it's something about it just being, like, the classic, like, you know, like, White Dragon,
yeah.
like, the, like, fire powers. Just, like, I can't explain why I like it so much. I just think it's really fucking cool.
Yeah. So type Reshiram.
Yeah. To be fair, I played Black. So
You
the other one.
Did you experience Zekrom, yeah?
I went with the other one.
No, it's confusing though, because I think in Pokemon Black you get Reshiram, and then Pokemon White you get Zekrom, because it's really confusing.
That's the White. That's the way. Yeah, I played White.
Yeah. Very odd they've done that, but hey ho. Type of Reshiram is a Mon Chris had third, which was Regigigas, which is to Jack's right or left. Whichever way the camera flipped. We had Lugia as well, tied in just outside, who Foss had third, and we had Diancie, who Hooper had second, and Xenos had third.
I must admit, I'm surprised Diancie actually got that close, and Regigigas actually. Like, I feel like they're both like somewhat liked, but not like super popular.
Yeah.
But then I guess like, what is it, like joint 17th? I guess that's not crazy.
So those are the ones we've got honorable mentions. So we'll gloss over them. So we move on up to joint 15, where we have 3 different Pokemon.
Of course.
So, okay, so the oldest gen from in our 15th spot was from Gen 3. Foss had it the highest in second place. It is Latias. Latias got second place. Now,
see, this is what I meant when I said before we started this, I was really intrigued by this list, because I didn't know what way this was going to go. I would not expect Latias to be anywhere near the top 10.
Well, the funny thing is, Latios is like right near the bottom. So I don't know why Latias is better than Latios.
That is so weird.
Because
I mean, I know that like
Latias is
I don't know.
I wish should have done it, but Latias is the red one, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah. I like Latias and Latios. Like I like Latias and Latios, but they're like mid, like, you know, roughly.
Yeah, they'd be like, you know, they'd be like probably top 30 for me, but like
they're just.
I wouldn't have them at the top.
Like I know there were a big thing in Aurus, because obviously you got one for free basically, and they megaed and then, you know, fly around on Latias and stuff. I'm intrigued.
This is going to be a weird thing to say, but I feel like the megas looking identical for both of them kind of put me off them a little bit.
Yeah,
I don't know
I do
why
see
that is, but
Yeah,
the
'cause they
megas
look
looking completely
exactly
identical. Like they didn't even make Mega Latias look red. Like they're just both that weird like purplish
they
blue.
just mixed the colours together and went, go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, and the stats are basically the same. They're literally like basically the same Pokemon. They're just like different colour.
Yeah,
Very
pretty
slightly
much.
different.
They
Yeah,
are cool though, so I'm fine with Latias being there, but it does surprise me a little
it does.
bit.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Okay, so the next one, we move on all the way forward to Generation 6 next.
Okay.
This Pokemon,
Okay.
I had second place, and Hooper had third place.
Ooh.
It
What's
is Hooper.
Oh,
I am confusion.
Hooper had Hooper. Is that the only reason he had it so high up?
No, it
Because it's got
wasn't.
the same
It
name.
wasn't. But yeah, I really like Hooper because for me he's got like the same traits as like a Ditto. He's mischievous. He's like, you know,
Yeah.
both. I like both forms. Like obviously the little form's really cool. Then the big brutey one with like 6 arms is really good.
Yeah, I really like the whole kind of like like genie aspect that it's got going
it
on.
makes up all
And I
the
think,
wormholes
like,
and stuff. Yeah.
I think I'm trying to think about my list. I think it was in like my top 20. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Like out of the. Like for me, it was one of my favorites. I mean, Gen 6 didn't have many legendaries, but Hooper was one of my favorites
Yeah.
in that gen.
For
Definitely.
sure. And I always remember the movie, like the Hooper movie, was like one of the newer ones I've watched, which I actually really like. Just because of the
Yeah,
scene where
definitely.
Hooper like just summons all of the legendaries to just battle each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that scene is really cool to me.
I feel like power scaling in Pokemon makes absolutely no sense when you think about it for more than 2 seconds, but Hooper feels like one of the more powerful legendaries if you're looking at it like in universe.
In the
I don't know
universe,
why,
yeah.
but the fact that it can open like wormholes
Holes.
and stuff, like
Yeah.
it feels very, very powerful.
It's just like Hooper opens up all these wormholes, and then literally the next generation, all of like the Ultra Beasts come through wormholes. So
Yeah.
I don't know why Hooper wasn't like a thing for that kind of thing.
Yeah, I almost feel like it should have been instead of Zygarde, maybe.
Yeah. Screw 2 Legends Zygarde, we want Legends Hooper, right? Just give him some love, you know, because literally, like with probably most gens, Hooper was just like, oh, he's here, hi. Really
Well,
much
he's
the
just
story, really.
the next in a long list of mythicals that just got
They're just-
ignored into oblivion.
Exactly.
Same as like Victini,
The-
Meloetta,
all that good
Anathine,
stuff.
Theone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of there, you know. The last Mon tied with Latias and Hooper is a Mon from Gen 9.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh.
Someone in this call had it top 3.
Ooh, okay, well, it's not me.
It's not me.
It's me. I know that.
Voss had this Mon first place.
Ooh.
It is from the first DLC.
It's Ogapom.
It is indeed.
Oh, I like
Okay.
Ogapom so much. Now, the thing I love about Ogapom is it's grass, but you can change its other typing. So you can turn it to like grass water, you can turn it to grass fire, like
Yeah.
all sorts. And it's like, it's just such a cool mechanic.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. It's really hard for me because I haven't played the DLC, but
Yeah.
I do know that like in terms of the actual like storyline in the DLC,
Yeah.
I know Ogapon is like kind of central to it.
It really is, yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think that's probably kind of like how
And-
when we ranked Gen 9 Pokemon,
The
where
boost
Boss Stiff was like
was-
number
was-
2 purely
yeah.
because of the story in the
Yeah.
game. I
Like,
feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
Ogapon is very popular right now because of the
that.
story in the DLC.
Yeah, it's it's such a good story, and it's like I don't think it's not as sad as Bostiv. it's not as sad,
Yeah.
but it's still like
Yeah. It's still just really
you
it's just really
you
good.
still get the feels.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do get the feelings of it.
I feel like they've
That's
done
fair,
that
and I-
well with the newer gens because obviously you've got Miraidon and Koraidon for like the entire story. You bond with it. Ogapon is the same with the story and whatnot.
Yeah, I
Just
feel
makes-
like Gen 9
Yeah.
really did I feel like Gen 9 did a really good job with the legendaries in terms of like making them feel like
Yeah,
just in terms of making them feel like a big deal, you know.
exactly.
Yeah,
So yeah, and I've got to say I do like that it's grass type as well. I feel like we don't get many grass type legendaries.
no.
You get
I think
Celebi,
it's cool.
Celebi, Virizion, that's about it really. Shaman.
Yeah, I think
you
that
know,
is it. Yeah, I think Tapu Bulu is.
Tapu Bulu as well.
Grass,
Yeah, I feel like for me,
But-
Ogerpon probably would have made my list, but literally it's only been out like I need like time to like grow on me kind of thing. It's too new
Yeah, see,
for me
from
to be on my
from
list.
what I know, I feel like if I had played the DLC by now, then Ogerpon might have had a chance of making my list.
Yeah,
From what I know, I get the vibe that it would be in contention, but
it'd be up there
yeah.
for sure. So, move on up. 14th place, standalone. 2 points more with 20 points. This mon is from Gen 3.
Okay.
The highest person who ranked it was Mr. Alcrid, had this mon second.
Okay.
It's one of the box arts from this generation. It's Kyogre.
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 Okay.
Kyogre!
I mean, that's respectable. Kyogre has always been a
Kyogre's
really
a good-
popular one,
Yeah,
in fairness.
especially.
Yeah.
Like for me, out of the Gen 3s, I think I like Kyogre slightly more than Groudon.
I think for me, Groudon is high just because Ruby was the first Pokemon game I ever owned and played, so it's got
Yeah,
a nostalgia
it's
element
got
to
to-
me.
Yeah,
But like, Kyogre
Yeah.
is really sick as well, and so is Rayquaza. Honestly, that whole trio is
that's
really
very,
cool.
very cool. Yeah, exactly. Primal Kyogre is really cool.
Yeah.
I liked how pretty much in VGC it carried because of the rain, just was won it in that good competitively. I'm pretty sure when I played Aurus, I used it as my HM slave, which was really cool. Because it had dive, surf, and waterfall. Was the only one on my team who could have it on
Yeah.
free. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to surf on my Kyogre. You know?
Literally, in any Hoenn game, your Watermon is always just resigned to being your HM
Yeah,
slave
exactly.
because you need all three of the HMs.
Yeah, exactly. So Kyogre was fit the bill for me. But yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, 13th place. We're back in Gen 3. This mod, someone in this call had a first place.
Okay, well, no, it's not me.
It's not me either.
Are you kidding me? Okay.
So in third place, 13th place, sorry. Hayes had
Third place.
Not third
Christ.
place. He got 21 points. So, yeah, more than Kyogre. It's Regirock. Regirock got 21 points. H gave it 10 points for first place. I put it fifth in my list.
Oh. Okay,
And-
so
Yeah. So between me
I mean-
and H gave it 16 points.
Such a cool dude.
I mean, I like him.
Um,
He
It
wasn't-
remi- it-
Out of all the Regis, I think he's definitely my favourite. I think I've got nostalgic
Yeah.
tax because when I used to do Draft League, I used to draft Regirock all the time because I really, really liked using it in like competitive battling. That's probably why he's
Yeah.
up that high for me. But I just like
Fair.
it's simple design. Like I feel like Regirock's probably like when you think of like a big Reggie, like big Titan thing, you probably think of Rock, maybe Steel, but I just like
Yeah.
Rock more.
I would agree with that. I think out of the Regis, and I'm including the two from Gen 8, I think
Yeah.
Regirock is my favourite.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's fair. That
Yeah.
is fair. I feel like I sort of underrated him maybe when I made my list because he is a cool design and
Is it cool?
everything.
Yeah, it's probably the best design. I like it's obviously pure rock. You barely get with pure rocks because they're usually a rock ground or whatever, which is really cool.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
it's-
beefy boy. It's got like 200 defense.
It's
It's beefy
and-
boy.
And from its Pokédex as well, it's like it says basically it can use rocks to repair itself as well, which sounds quite cool.
It's just well, you're the soil nerd,
Like-
so that's why you had
Oh
it
my
first.
god, yeah. I just looked up
Yeah, but it's
Regirock only
such-
the third like pure rock type Pokemon that they made. Like the third
Yeah.
one. The other two was Sudowoodo and Nosepass, and then Regirock.
So they went from Sudowoodo, which is like a tree, Nose Pass, which is just a big rock with a nose, and they go, oh, legendary, big Regirock.
like a huge
Especially in the Reggie movie. Was it the Reggie movie or was it the one of the like movies?
Wasn't there one that was like new in the Regis or
Yeah,
something?
I just remember the Reggie going, and like, Reggie Rock was like super like deep voice. I remember that. I'm surprised, like literally, I am, like Jack said, I am very intrigued of what actually going to be near the top.
I already feel like most of these that have made it this far, I wasn't expecting to get as high as they did.
Yeah,
Like, I
Yeah.
think Kyogre is the only one so far. I've been like, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. So just missing out on top 10, we have two Mons on 22 points. 11th place, this Mon is from Gen 2.
Won't be on my list.
Yeah,
Xenos
might be
had
on
this. Xenos had it the highest in second place. It is one of the box arts, I believe.
Okay.
but not the
I think I know
but,
what this
but
is.
it's Suicune.
Suicune. Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm happy with that. I had Suicune fourth in my list, so
Yeah.
I think what 7 of those points are me. How many points does that have?
22.
22.
Yeah.
Nice, that's fair. I've always loved Suicune. I feel like it's kind of a mix of things of like, you know, as a kid, like, you know, when I, you know, the first time I played a game that had Suicune in it, I was like, oh my god, what is this thing? Like,
Yeah.
I think it was Heart Gold and Soul Silver actually, because I didn't really know much about Pokemon at the time.
Yeah.
And like when I played it, I was just like, oh my god, this thing must be so like, you know, important because it was just like it's one of the like roaming legendaries, obviously,
Yeah.
and like. Yeah, it was like my first like roaming legendary. I had to like really hunt down, I think. But I think the design's really cool. I love like the purple like main thing. It's got like flowing in the back and like
wings and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, and like the like white like ribbons. I think it's just really cool. Like that's pretty much all I can say.
Very cool design for Suicune. For me,
Yeah.
I prefer. I think out of the three dogs, it's probably my least favorite. But me personally, I like Raikou and I like Entei. I like Entei probably the best out of the three. But
See, I would say that I'm horrified, but then all three of them are really cool designs.
yeah, they're all really
Like
cool designs.
Raikou was like this close to making my top 10.
Yeah.
Like he just barely missed out.
I do feel like their backstory is kind of a bit odd because they just resurrected Flareon, Vaporeon, Jolteon from like.
Yeah, it is a bit strange. It's another thing that like I've said so many times about how I feel like the Gen 2 remakes were a bit of a like missed opportunity, but I feel like they could have expanded on it. And maybe someday if we do ever get a like Legends Johto, they will. Still
Yeah.
think that someday they will do that.
I think they're gonna slowly work through and do all. The next Mon, I'm surprised got this high up. This Mon is from Gen 8.
Oh, ew. Okay.
Oh,
It's our highest
horrible.
ranking. It's a highest ranking Gen 8.
Actually, I say ew, but I do have a Gen 8 one in my list, technically.
Alcrest had this Mon first place. Dread had it third
Okay.
place. It's Mr. Zacian, Mr. Sword Doggo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course it is. I
Yeah.
would tell you the only reason why this is high up because it's not for the design or anything. It's this high up because it's good and competitive. That's literally it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, Alcrest doesn't do
It's an
competitive
absolute.
Pokemon though.
It's
so-
an absolute. It's an absolute beast and competitive, and I feel like that's the only reason because it is ugly to look at. Like I feel like they had about like 18 different people designing it.
It's literally just. It's literally just
I
a,
didn't know when to stop.
yeah, exactly. It's,
Yeah.
like, it's literally a dog with a sword in its mouth. Wow.
I know.
Interesting. Even
Look,
like
I'm not gonna like. I feel like I'm gonna say I've always felt Zamazenta as a cooler Pokemon in terms of design. I feel like Zamazenta is
Yeah.
cooler. I like that the shield is kind of like a lion's mane. I think that's quite creative.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have been a bit more creative, incorporating the sword with Zacian instead of just having it in its mouth.
yeah.
Like, it could have been that like, I don't know. I guess they can't have its nose be a sword because they already did that with Keldeo. But they could have come up with a better way to do it. I think than just having the
Yeah.
sword in its mouth.
Yeah.
Um,
to be
Maybe
fair.
have
yeah.
maybe have like the tail or whatever and that
Yeah, like the tail as a sword.
becomes
maybe,
a sword.
But, I
Yeah.
don't know. But look, it's hard for me to talk about this too much because I sort of conflate the Gen 8 legendaries with the Gen 8 games, and because I really
Yeah,
didn't
I
like
did like Gen
Sword
8
and
over.
Shield.
Yeah.
Because I really didn't like Sword and Shield, the legendaries from those games. I also don't. But I also kind of think of them and just go, I don't really like those.
Also, from what
But,
I've
like-
played, you barely see Zacian in the game. You see
Yeah,
him,
no, you
you
don't.
see him right
Like,
at the
you-
start and then right at the end. He's not really
Yeah,
talked about
pretty
at all,
much
really.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's because it's a monster and competitive. That is quite literally it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of any other reason why it's so high up. I mean, by all means, if you love Zacian, defend it, please, because I want to understand, but I don't.
I really don't understand either. So we break into our top 10, where we have a tie with 23 points. So Suicune and Zacian
Okay.
just missed out. First Mon is a Gen 4 Pokemon.
Okay.
Okay.
This Pokemon is a cover legendary,
I think I know what
Okay.
one this might be.
but it's not Diamond and Pearl, it's not Platinum.
Oh no.
Oh,
It's a Legends
okay.
game. It's God himself, Arceus.
It-
23
Arceus.
points.
Okay.
So, Lily
So I
had
must
this
admit-
second. Lily had it second. That's highest ranking.
Okay. So, I've got to admit, when I like sat down to make my list, I really thought like, oh, Arceus is going to be up there for sure. Like he's going to probably be in the top 10. But as I was kind of doing it, I felt like there's a lot of mons that I prefer over Arceus. I think
Yeah.
the idea of it being God
Yeah.
is really cool.
Hmm.
But I don't know. It kind of feels a bit. I don't want to say basic. That's not the right word to
God
use.
is basic. There we go. But, yeah.
A bit.
I don't know. He's kind of cool, but I feel like he doesn't. I feel like he doesn't exactly live up to all the hype of like being God that he should. I don't know.
Because like in Diamond, when Gen 4 came out, you weren't supposed to get Arceus.
Yeah,
Because I think people
like
like
it was meant to be an event, but then they just never released it. So he felt like this elusive like thing, like almost like a rumor. It's like, is he really in the game? Like,
he
can you
really
really get him?
yeah.
Which, for the Pokemon who is literally God,
God.
it almost felt fitting that there was no real way to get
get
it
it.
without cheating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I love the idea of like this Pokemon being God, and I think Legends Arceus was really cool.
Mm.
They like actually like brought him into the
Brought him
story
into
and
the story
everything.
thing, yeah.
But yeah, he is pretty cool. I will say.
Cool.
I like that he's got the whole thing with the different
Plates
plates and
and
like the
stuff.
designs. The design is simple, but I think it works.
Just big
Like,
llama, you know, just a big llama with all the plates.
I wouldn't have referred to him as a llama, but I mean, I guess he's not a million miles off.
I mean, what animal would you compare Arceus to?
I mean, I wouldn't. He's God. He doesn't need to be an
Yeah,
animal.
but he looks the most like a llama.
I guess if you want. Sure, okay. So God is a llama.
God is a llama who has mystical plate, which can change its typing. Like Hate said about Ogerpon, you can change its typing. Well, Arceus did that way back when. You can change it any typing it likes. It can be whatever it wants to be. It is the jet. It can be what it wants, okay? The point
He's
with
pretty
it
cool.
is the rarity on this entire list. This Pokemon is ranked in a different video.
Oh wow, we actually have a teeny bit of
A
consistency.
teeny bit of consistency. Now, the only list we've done are starters, so obviously they're not going to be in this list. And we've done Gen 9. This Pokemon ranked 13th in our all Gen 9 Pokemons. Where we did it literally before the DLC, so there was no Ogerpon and all that stuff in the game. So,
Yeah.
you probably know what I'm going to say here. Highest ranking of this Mon, Dread had it second. I had it on my list in like 7th. Mr. Miraidon.
I had it fourth. Yeah, I had it fourth.
Yeah, Miraidon.
I
4th.
like Miraidon.
Miraidon.
I feel like it's completely the opposite of Zacian, which we'll talk about, because literally you're with it the entire game. And
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel that because you're with it and you're going through the story
Yeah.
and you're sort of, you're looking after it, you're helping,
It gets
you're
stronger.
helping it as well as like, you're helping it as well and making it get better. It's like it wants you to kind of attach to it.
Yeah.
They did a really good job of making the box legendaries actual characters that you like originally
Yeah.
invested in, and not
Yeah,
just
exactly.
like not
Yeah.
just like
Like-
how they used to do it, where you just the legend like with Zacian and Zamazenta, like you
Yeah.
like see them for half an hour, catch them at the very end of the game, and then they do one thing and then that's done.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think they did a really good
Good
job
job
with
of
them
it.
this time.
They really did.
For me, Koraidon would be higher. For me, like Koraidon is in my list, I believe, but Miraidon isn't.
Yeah. I feel
But
like
the only reason for that is because I feel like I like Koraidon design more.
Yeah.
But they're both,
Yeah.
in terms of like, the story and
Yeah.
everything, obviously they're both the same,
Same.
and it's both really good.
Yeah. And also, Miraidon is broken and competitive. Yeah.
That's good.
And
And
I think it was Honda recently. They made a literal motorbike
here we go.
of Miraidon that you could ride.
Wow.
Huh?
What?
Hang on, I need to see this.
Put it on the screen now.
Oh god, what?
Oh, it's Toyota, but
Okay,
still.
To be fair, I don't know. I would say,
Yeah, I don't know.
Imagine you going to work on that.
on the Miraidon bike. I feel like
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, you won't get that with Koraidon.
Have a
will
ride
you?
on Miraidon.
Have a ride on Miraidon. Exactly, just like the games. You probably can't fly and glide with it or climb mountains with it, but you'll look cool doing it. So in 8th place, 3 points more than Arceus and Miraidon, is a Mon. Sprangle had third. This Mon is our highest ranking Gen 6 Pokemon. It's a box art. It's Yveltal.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it's Yveltal, yeah. In
I feel
place.
like everybody ignored Yveltal. Everyone was like all about Xerneas, and like Yveltal just got ignored.
Obviously not.
But that's fine. I'm happy with that.
happy
Because I
with
prefer Yveltal.
Yveltal
I
is...
prefer Yveltal to Xerneas.
Like I played Y. Yveltal was really cool. It's shiny looks like a bit of bacon. It's really cool. I just feel like...
Yeah, I think it's really cool as well.
I feel like because it's also like it like absorbs like everyone's energy. It's like really like kind of like it gives me like Darkrai like evil type vibes, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
I
compared to
feel like we
Xerneas.
don't get many Pokemon that actually feel like they're like evil. I feel like Darkrai and
Like
Yveltal are a couple of the only
Giratina
ones.
as well. You know, all that kind of.
Giratina,
Jazz.
I think it's really really cool.
Yeah.
I always felt like it was just super underrated because everyone seems to be obsessed with Xerneas.
Xerneas.
But again, I think that probably was because Xerneas, I believe, was good and competitive at one point.
Yeah, it
Maybe.
was, and Yveltal just wasn't. I mean, it was good, but it just wasn't Xerneas levels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Move on up now. The rest of our list, spoiler alert, is Gen 4 and under. Shock horror. Shock horror.
To absolutely no one's surprise.
So, in joint 6, in 31 points, 5 points more than Yveltal. We're now going to talk about our highest ranking Gen 2 boy right now. When I say Holly had this Mon third, Jack had it second, and Hooper had it first, you could probably guess where I'm going with this. It's the game we thought we were going to get a Legends game about, but we didn't. We got Zygarde instead. It's little Celebi.
Celebi.
Mm-hmm.
So Celebi has always been my favorite mythical Pokemon, and there's a few reasons for it. So, for one thing, I just think the design is really cool.
Yeah,
I
I like
really
the design.
like that it's like a time travel
Traveler.
Pokemon. I loved it. I loved its like movie as well.
The movie was really
Like-
good, from what I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, the movie was really good, and plus. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon,
Yeah,
that
that's-
old
that-
chestnut that always gets mentioned.
That's literally when
Celebi,
when Hooper was making this list, he literally said it's up there because of Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Celebi is like quite a prominent character in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers.
Yeah.
Which is why it's so high for me. It would still probably be in my top 10, but it wouldn't be number 2
Good.
without Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool. And again, it's a grass type. Like we don't get enough grass types. And the fact that it's like a little like pixie, like it's just
Yeah.
it's a really cool Pokemon for the time. I think it was
For the
really
time, really
unique.
cool,
Like we
unique
hadn't
as
really
well.
had anything else like it.
Yeah. I like the time travel like aspect of it as well because obviously 2 gens later we get like the Lord of Time and Space. You know, telling you
Yeah.
like, "Hi, I'm here. Hi, I'm over here now." Woo. Like I
Yeah.
feel like if they did a Legend Celebi, that would make like to go. I feel like that made more sense with the Sword and Shield like storyline and past and future. It makes sense. Like you could use Celebi would be there, and you could like hop between past and present. But I'm intrigued how they're gonna do it in Legends. But
To be fair, at the end of Scarlet and Violet, they were on about time travel
yeah,
and trying to invent it. So they might go off that if it's set even further in the future than that to start
Yeah.
off with.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah.
yeah, they could have
But,
like kidnapped Celebi to work out its time traveling powers and whatnot. You know, get on that story for it.
But yeah, Celebi's always been a fave, and I like that it looks like an onion.
It does look like an onion. Joined with Celebi is a Gen 4 Mon.
Okay.
Okay.
But it's not our highest Gen 4 Mon. It's our third highest Gen 4 Mon, and we're in 6th place. Go
Wow.
Gen 4. So this Mon,
And 4 had good legendaries. What can we
Gen
say?
4, Lanky had first place. Another box art Mon, and it's not Pearl. It's
Yeah, I didn't think it would be.
it's Dialga.
It's Dialga.
Dialga.
Yeah. Dialga's just really
I like
cool.
Dialga.
And again, Mystery Dungeon does influence my placement here somewhat because I had it 5th, but
Yeah.
also another one that has nostalgia for me because Diamond was the version I played.
Yeah.
And it's a dragon that's like the god of time. I mean,
it really
you
was.
can't get any more cool.
I know.
Exactly. And how do you-
It's so cool. It was the legendary, the first Pokemon game.
yeah, because you were Diamond, I was Pearl.
It's just a lot of nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there's type
Gen
Yeah,
4
so
and
that was
5,
just-
it's just pure nostalgia for me.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like it's
Yeah, I love Dialga.
Dialga.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying its typing is so unique because we didn't get another one until Gen 9.
Duraludon, wasn't it?
Duraludon, yeah. Which was Gen 9, so it was a big gap for that typing. That typing is really good as well. I just like its design because Palkia just looks very weird. Like Pearl was my first game, but Palkia wasn't even in contention to be in my top 10 list because.
Yeah, Palkia is not. I'm not a huge fan of Palkia.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, though, I don't like Palkia, and I really like Dialga. The Origin forms is the other way around. I hate Origin Dialga, and I love Origin Palkia.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do that with Yveltal Xerneas. Just make it.
Yeah. So let's just add that comment in there. Origin Dialga is revolting. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Primal Dialga, which is a thing from Mystery Dungeon, is really cool though.
Yeah. Going up to 5th, I'll take a 5th. 35 points, so 4 points more. Our highest Gen 3 Pokemon.
Okay.
I think I know what this has to be. Well, actually, no, because there's two.
This highest ranking for this was Winter, who had it second. It is on Jack's background right now.
That doesn't narrow it down. Both of the possible ones are still there.
It's at the top.
Doesn't narrow it down.
It has different forms.
That doesn't narrow it down either.
Okay. It's a box legendary.
All three of these have different forms.
It's a box legendary.
It's what?
It's a box legendary.
That doesn't narrow it down either. Well, it slightly does.
It's got a mega.
Okay, we go. There we go.
It's Rayquaza.
Rayquaza,
It's
we
your
got there in
boy,
the end.
Rayquaza. I thought, how many did I save without you knowing which one it is? I feel like
Rayquaza.
Emerald was a big part of that. Aurus, like the Delta episode, big part of that. Mega Rayquaza adds to it as well, being like the creator of all megas, protecting against primals, It's got a lot of story behind it.
I think a large part of it is in each game you've got obviously in Gen 1 you don't, but in Gen 2 onwards you have like the box legendaries, like the signature legendaries. But in Gen 2, because for Crystal it was Suicune, Suicune was already a part of like its own trio, so it didn't feel like a big step up kind of thing. But then you had Groudon and Kyogre, which were already really cool, and then you get Rayquaza and they're like, this is the ultimate.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, there was something about it that felt really, really just epic as a kid. That all I can really explain.
Yeah, exactly.
And Rayquaza has always been like an absolute fan favorite for good reason, because it's just really cool design. Mega Rayquaza makes it even better.
It really does.
And plus the whole Aurus Delta episode thing
really good.
helped it even more.
Yeah.
It's just a really cool Pokemon. Like I can't really explain beyond that. It was I think it was number 11 for me.
Yeah.
So it just barely got shoved off the list at the last second.
It did make my list, but I can see it. I really like it shiny. I think Mega Rayquaza is amazingly beautiful.
It's like one of the coolest Pokemon.
It really is. It was so broken back in Gen 6, it had its own tier.
Yeah.
That's how broken it was. There was Mega Rayquaza, and then everything else. And then you had the normal ones.
That's what happens when you take a Pokemon that was already amazing and then give it a Mega Evolution.
Stats. And then, because it had special powers, it could also hold an item as well as being Mega Rayquaza. So it could be a Choice Scarf Mega Rayquaza and just outspeed everything and just one-shot everything.
That's just terrifying.
And then its ability, weakens damage against rock-type moves and stuff like that. Woo! Great! So it's only weak to ice, which is terrible in Gen 6. Yeah! So moving up to top 4. This Mon just missed out on podium with 41 points. This Mon is our second highest Gen 1 Pokemon.
Okay.
I gotta say as well, just really quickly, I know that Gen 1 didn't have many legendaries, but I'm surprised there's only 2 in the list. I'm surprised there's only 2 making our list here.
Yeah. This Mon, Green had first, Lily had it third, Jack had it third, and I had it third.
Okay, that throws my theories out the window, because I thought this was a shoo-in for first place overall.
You got fourth. It's your boy. It's the OG. Mr. Mewtwo.
Mewtwo, wow. I'm very intrigued by the top three now because the one thing I was certain of going into this is that Mewtwo would be number one.
Nah, 41 points. But yeah,
Wow.
I feel like it's the fact that Mewtwo is just thrown down your throat every opportunity. People have not got on their list. But
That is fair.
it's got Charizard tax, it's got Greninja tax, it's got Lucario tax, it's got all that stuff around it. But it's like really powerful. Both its megas, really cool. The OG movie when it's a bad guy, really good. When it's the bad guy in Detective Pikachu, even.
Yeah.
Really good.
I feel like Mewtwo is just like you can't really think of Pokemon without thinking of Mewtwo. And I guess the reason I thought it was going to be first is because like while it does have the Charizard effect, I feel like it's not as much of a criminal at that as Charizard is.
No.
Yeah.
Because Charizard is like a starter, right? So there's like games where you get given a Charmander or like, you know, a Gen 1 starter, like Gen 6, you get given one.
Yeah.
And like Mewtwo, like being a legendary, you still have to go out of your way to get him.
Yeah.
Like it never just gets handed to you, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
It kind of just missed out on mine, but I'd say probably 12th on mine.
Yeah.
I'd put
That's fair.
11th. I'd put Mew. Prefer Mew over Mewtwo.
Well, Mewtwo is basically just like Team Rocket stole Mew, tried to clone it to make a more powerful one, and Mewtwo was born. And all the failed ones were Dittos. Yay!
Yeah.
And
I know, but
a large part of my placement of Mewtwo is because of Mega Mewtwo Y though. Because I think Mega Mewtwo Y is so good.
It's so
like
cool.
not just in terms of like being strong, but I just think it's really cool.
Like
I feel
design
like
as
I almost wish that Mega Mewtwo Y was just the original design because I feel like it works more closely with making a failed clone of Mew.
Yeah.
yeah, and
But yeah.
obviously in Scarlet and Violet, Mewtwo is very rare because it was only available for about 2 weeks
Yeah.
in the game, and then that was literally it.
Yeah. But I guess I can understand why some people didn't vote for Mewtwo because it does have the Charizard.
It does have Charizard tax on it.
It's used as like a bad guy a lot. Like you said, it was used in the Detective Pikachu movie. Like in Gen 6, like it's treated as like, you know, the big final battle because like Zygarde just isn't.
Yeah, just Zygarde is not there.
Yeah.
Not even here today. Don't think he got a single point.
Also underrated one, Pokémon Tournament as well. Mewtwo is the bad guy. Shadow Mewtwo, which is a really cool little tidbit of Pokemon that just got lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
And plus, obviously, the movie, which obviously like the iconic first movie.
Yeah, it's really good as well. I feel like they cast Mewtwo as the bad guy in Detective Pikachu because they wanted like older people to see who basically only played Gen 1. Could make sense because they whacked in like a, I don't know, like a Darkrai or something. You went, oh okay, what the hell is this thing? Or something like that, you know.
I feel like they needed it to be something like Mewtwo. If they were going to have a bad guy Pokemon, it was going to have to be Mewtwo, wasn't it?
It had to be, didn't they? Yeah. Mewtwo only missed out on podium by 1 point.
Oh, wow.
This Pokemon got 42. It's Gen 4, but not a highest ranking Gen 4 Pokemon. Chris had this mon first, Lil had this mon second, and Lanky and Alk had this mon third.
The fact you haven't mentioned a certain someone means I know that it's not Giratina.
It's Darkrai.
You mean it's not Fione?
It's not Theo, no, it's Darkrai.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it was obviously it was going to be one of those two. Let's be real.
It had to be.
But,
yeah, but yeah.
Darkrai. I mean, okay. I feel like there's a bit of a pattern here, especially for me, is that I love the Pokemon, the legendaries that feel like they are like, you know, big evil things.
Yeah.
Like,
Darkrai.
because you've got Yveltal, you've got Mewtwo, you've got, you know, Darkrai as well.
Yeah.
Darkrai is just... Okay, well, let's just say for stars, Darkrai is the edgelord of Pokemon,
100%.
right? It just is.
It's just so edgy.
But it's so cool that you can't help but love it.
It really is. The fact it's like lore is a bit weird. Like it just like goes into your nightmares and like freaks you out and scares you to death. Like that's kind of like, you know, it's a bit, you know, it's a bit odd, but it does make sense for it being nightmares. Like it uses that really well
Yeah.
Like in Mystery Dungeons, when it's there, it does that thing well. Obviously, when I did Poke Park 2, it did that well in that as well.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like Pokemon Ranger 2 as well. It's the final boss.
I feel like it's a good boss to have, having to always go back to Mewtwo. It's like the next one down. Could just epitomize like evil.
I think Darkrai works really well for that. And I really, really like it. I've always it's always been one of my favorites. I've got it as number 6 in my list. So it's up there for me. I don't really know what else to say about Darkrai, but I thought the event in Gen 4 where you get him is cool. Like how there's that kid who's in a coma and you have to you have to I think you have to go. Am I thinking of something else, or do you go into his dream or something? I don't remember what you do.
I don't know.
But I just remember it being really cool.
Yeah. But yeah, Darkrai. I wasn't surprised it got top 3, but I wasn't saying, it's definitely Death 3.
I was expecting Darkrai to be top 5. Yeah. I was expecting it going into this.
I thought it'd be high, but I didn't think it'd be this high. Number 2, 46 points. 2 points more. No, 4 points more, sorry. In second place.
Okay.
This Pokemon is from the first generation.
Okay.
This Pokemon, 2 people had first place. One of them's in this call, and the other's Holly.
Well, it ain't Reshiram, so...
It's your boy, Mew.
Mew. Yes.
Mew is my favourite legendary, not just because of the Ditto aspect of the story, but I really like Mew. Mew is just adorable.
I think he's adorable. He's got that mysterious way about him. He's got that same kind of devious edge that Ditto does. A little bit alien, a little bit a little bit kind of extraterrestrial kind of thing. Yeah. He's really cool.
Yeah.
I had Mew at number 10 in my list, so he did make it just about for me.
Yeah.
Mew was 11th for me. As I said earlier, I love Mew.
Yeah. So there's a really theme on my list because all the ones at the top are all the trickster, little mischievous ones kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because Mew and Hooper are really high, but yeah.
I feel like Mew, being the first mythical Pokemon.
Yeah.
Being the one that kids in the playground would be trading mysteries about how can you really get Mew? How do you get him?
Mew? How do you get Mew?
You have to go over this truck and use strength on it and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Mew was it was a playground legend kind of thing. When you're growing up, it was really, really cool. And I feel that's kind of lost to an extent now because of the internet. You don't really get that anymore. But the mystery around Mew was always just such a cool part of Pokemon.
It really was.
The idea of actually being able to go out and find it.
Mew got second with 46 points. First place got 60 points. 14 points more.
Wow, okay. I have no idea what this is going to be. Usually by the time we get to number 1, I know, but I really don't know.
So we asked 16 people, so it's at 160. They got 60 points. So just it's got about 40% of the vote, for this Pokemon. Okay. This one's from Gen 4.
I think I know the answer.
I know what it is. It took me a second to know what it is.
3 people had this one first. Dread, Sprangle, and Lil had this one first. Winter had it third. Collectively, between them 4, it got 38 points. So a lot of people had mid-tier kind of thing. It's a box art. It's I don't think it was in Arceus, Legends Arceus. Could be wrong though.
It was.
You
wouldn't know that because you never finished the post game, even though we were all screaming at you two.
You did, but it may happen one day. Who knows? But
you started from the beginning again, so
I have. I'll get that one day. We have Giratina in first place. The Devil.
Giratina
got one.
Giratina
got first place. The Devil of all Pokemon. Theme here.
The Satan of Pokemon.
We've had Yveltal, evil. We've had Mewtwo, evil. We've had Darkrai, evil. Giratina, literally the Devil Pokemon, is first place.
Look, they need to make more evil Pokemon. What can I say? You need more Pokemon that actually feel like a threat that you need to stop.
In Gen 9, was there really scary Pokemon, evil legendaries? Not really.
Not really.
Yes and no.
they tried to hype up the like Legends of Ruin as like being scary, but then they were just like Chi Yu, which is just a little fish.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they tried to hype
Yeah.
up as being like these are like these are like Pokemon of Ruin that could destroy the world, and then it's
One's a
just a
snail,
fish.
one's a mongoose,
And a
one's a
snail.
fish.
The best they've done in it is they hyped up like the loyal three in the story. It's like, oh, they're the good guys to start off with, and then it turns out they're not.
Yeah, but they're not like
Oh, and
evil,
so
they're
why?
just like bullies.
I know. Yeah.
That's not the
I know,
same.
they're not evil, but I mean they're the most evil legendaries in the game.
This is like a very weird like analogy for this, but them are like Nelson from The Simpsons, and like Darkrai like the Mr. Burns. Like he's actually evil. Nelson's just a big bully, you know?
I feel
Yeah,
like
no, yeah, it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like he fits more into the same category as like Necrozma, Eternatus, that kind of thing.
He does, yeah.
Like, 'cause I think those are the other two like evil ones that aren't in the
Like,
list.
yeah, exactly. Like Ultra Necros was like pure evil. Eternatus is like pure evil as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Giratina, obviously the multiple forms, like in Platinum, like the Distortion World, that's people who play Platinum said that's like the best part of Platinum.
Yeah.
Just the Kill Giratina story arc with that. It's really cool, Mon.
It's just the origin form. It made it so much cooler.
It
Like I
did,
don't
yeah.
mind the base form, but the origin form is where it's at.
Yeah.
I feel like my predictions again. The only thing I thought I knew going into this is that Mewtwo would win, which obviously it didn't.
Yeah.
But I feel like if I were to have predicted before this, I feel like it would have probably been Mewtwo, Rayquaza, and Giratina as the top three.
Yeah, you got two out.
So I'm not a
you
million.
got one out of three.
Got one. That's not a million miles off. Both of them
Yeah.
made the top. Like all of them made the top 10.
They all made
did
the top
well.
10. They all did well, and it was very obviously like we predicted at the start, very old gen bias because
yeah.
nostalgia
not-
tax, I think.
Yeah, it is nostalgia tax, a lot
Mm.
of it, and I can't say I'm surprised, honestly. Like,
Yeah.
there are some mons that there are some newer mons I had in my list. I mean, obviously, Reshiram was my number one, although I wouldn't really class Gen 5 as new anymore.
Yeah,
No.
But,
especially when Gen 10's the next one.
yeah, Christ.
Yeah, it's rare for me because only 4 of my list actually made the top 10, 15. Even though we had 17 today, only 4 made it.
Hardly any of mine, but
How many did I have?
What's
I had Celebi, Mewtwo, Suicune, Dialga, Darkrai, Mew. 6 of mine made it.
Oh, I tell you, I had 5. I had Mew Hooper, Mewtwo, Regirock, and Miraidon were on my list. They were the
I
ones-
had Regirock, Miraidon, Dialga.
As
Yeah,
always,
I
H
very
had no one in the
nearly-
top 15.
I very nearly had 7 because Reshiram missed out
Yeah.
by the tiniest little bit.
So yeah, so let me tell you who I had on my list before we end. I had Mew first, obviously, then Hooper second, Mewtwo third. I had Victini in fourth. Now,
I had Victini 8th.
I like Victini. Like,
Victini was 13 for me.
I like Victini. It was very weird because it was actually Pokédex number 000 in black and white. So it's
Yeah.
like before
Yeah.
starters. I don't know why. Victini's just kind of cool to me. I like it. It's like,
Yeah, I
yay,
agree.
victory,
I think
win.
I like how simple
know.
the design is. I
Yeah.
think the typing's really cool.
Cool,
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Is it was it the last Pixie we got? Because I don't think there was in Gen 6 or past that, was there? Like base 100 stats all over across the board. I think it was the last one.
I think it was.
Yeah. Because obviously in Gen 2 we had Celebi, Gen 3 we had
Because I wouldn't really count. Because Hooper is not a Pixie Pokemon, and I don't know if I'd count Marshadow.
No, or Diancie. Anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was a
Definitely
Gen
not
3
Diancie.
Pixie? Am I blanking? Why am I blanking so much?
Jirachi.
Jirachi, that's it. And Gen 4 was Manaphy.
Shaman.
Was it Manaphy or was it Shaman? Shaman. It was Shaman.
Shaman.
Shaman Space Hundreds. It's because they had a different form. It like threw me off. It wasn't a thingy. So I had Regirock in 5th. I had Landorus in 4th. I thought Landorus might have made the top 15 because, you know, it's very good and competitive. I like its like both forms. I like its you know, the genie form really well.
Sorry, I googled Pixie-mons to see if there's any that we forgot, and in fact, sorry, this is totally off topic, but this was one of the first results that came up.
I'm scared. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
It's abilities to
You're gonna have
leave.
to
Of
You're
his
gonna have to
garden
show this on the screen now because like people are not gonna know what I'm laughing at.
What is
but- Anyway,
They even
yeah,
spelled
so
chlorophyll wrong. Anyway, see, I had Landorus in 6th. I had Miraidon in 7th. I then had Genesect in 8th. Now,
oh, my background's gone.
Genesect in 8th. I like Genesect's design. I like it, it's basically like Kabutops in the thing. It's like its design. I like you can put like different drives to like, basically kill things with its super move. Had Coco in 9th because like Miraidon, Tapu Koko pretty much followed you through the story in Sun and Moon. Unlike Nevi, Tapu Koko was actually really cool to me. Favorite Tapu.
Yeah.
And then I had Zapdos last because I just really like Zapdos. What can I say? I've got a soft spot for Zapdos.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair reason, I guess. I had so I had Reshiram in first. Again, I can't really explain why I love it so much. I just always have. Celebi was number 2, Mewtwo number 3. I had Suicune in 4, Dialga 5, Darkrai 6. I had Koraidon in 7th.
Yeah.
Number 8, I don't know, I didn't expect this to be anywhere near this high up. Galarian Moltres I had at number 8.
I'm pretty sure you were like the one of only who had Galarian Moltres. Yeah, you're the only person who had it.
Galarian Moltres is really cool. I feel like the Galarian legendary birds are really underrated. I mean,
They are.
Okay, well, Galarian Zapdos is a bit weird, but Articuno and Moltres I think are really fucking cool.
Yeah, they really are.
But yeah, Galarian Moltres. Number 9 I had Solgaleo.
Yeah.
Like I'm not the biggest Gen 7 fan, but Solgaleo is undeniably really cool.
I do like Solgaleo, to be fair. Like being like a
really
outer
cool.
space lion is like really cool.
I've got a thing for lion Pokemon. I don't know why. I've just always had a thing for lion Pokemon.
That's fair.
And 10 I had Mew.
Got a bit of me. Yeah.
I had Regirock first.
We know why.
Obviously.
Dirt Boy.
Second, I had Terrapagos. I love Terrapagos.
Again, I feel like
Because
he's too new. I've
it's-
not actually seen him yet, so.
So cool. It's like its Terra type is everything.
What? So what? So when? Wait. So if you terror it, you get stabbed for every single move.
No.
What? No?
Even better.
It's even better. What?
When it goes into battle, it automatically terrors itself.
Right. So it's like Mega Rayquaza.
But then if you use a Terra Orb, it goes to a third formation.
Right. I'm learning so
I
much.
feel like this is something Ditto doesn't know yet.
I don't know this.
No.
Is this perhaps something that should be saved for when he does the DLC?
And
But let's just say Terrapagos has an interesting mechanic.
Okay.
yes, it's not much of a spoiler, but it's a bit of a spoiler.
Oh, it's fine. Go for it. It's been out long enough. I should.
Terrapagos also has the ability to alter timelines.
Interesting.
Indeed.
So that would mean, like, because obviously the older timelines with like megas and not and all that stuff. Terrapagos could be like, I don't like you were about to say earlier. I don't see it appearing in Legend Z to like older timelines. I feel like because it's not Gen 6.
No.
But you never know. It's Pokemon. They could do.
You never know.
They could do whatever.
Yeah.
No.
Interesting. Go on.
It's just-
Where's your list?
Such a cool Pokemon anyway.
Yeah.
3 Ogerpon, again, love the mechanics.
Yeah.
Miraidon 4,
Mhm.
and then 5th and 6th I've got Monkey Dory and Okidogi. They're a bit of a bully, but they're really cool designs in my opinion.
But they like the bird one.
Not really.
To be fair,
Probably honest.
To be fair, if I was to pick one of them, I probably would pick the monkey one. Is that...
Yeah, I like the monkey. I like the dog.
Monkey Dory's probably the favourite out of them ones. But yeah,
And they're such punny names.
I do like the names.
The fun game is strong. The fun game is strong.
7th I've put Shan Pao. I love Shan Pao so much. The only problem
That's
I have is
Go on.
it's not much of a dog when its name is basically dog.
Yeah, it's,
in French.
yeah. Because we talked about this in Gen 9. Our Gen 9 list. You don't go check out.
Number 8 is Victini, number
Yeah.
9 is Zekrom, and number 10 is Dialga.
Fair. Fair
I
enough.
think that's fair.
That's
The
fair.
Zekrom mention is nice.
Yeah.
If I just wish they made like Knuckle Stack and Garganackle and all that legendary.
God.
That'd be so cool.
Look.
And the reason it's a legend is because it's the formation of life, because it's the formation of rocks.
Well, you could technically say Ditto's a legendary because it's a failed Mew. But yeah, we move on.
Technically.
So that was our top 10 legends list. Let us know in the comments who your favourite legend is. Let us know in the comments what you possibly want the next top 10 to be. Yeah, so just to reiterate our top 15. In joint 15th we had Hooper, Latias and Ogerpon. 14th we had Kyogre. 13th was Regirock. 11th was Suicune and Zacian. 9th was Arceus and Miraidon. 8th was Yveltal. 6th was Dialga and Celebi. 5th was Rayquaza. 4th was Mewtwo. 3rd was Darkrai. 2nd was Mew. And number 1 was Giratina. So, yeah. Giratina was the number 1 on our list. So thank you guys for watching.
I was trying to fix my camera and I think I broke it worse.
Well, on that note, on that bombshell, thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you guys.
And
We'll see you in the next one. Bye.